There is a reason millions of people train consistently, eat carefully, and still look almost identical a year later. Not because they are lazy, not because their workouts are wrong, because they are missing a specific molecular signal, one that their body requires before it will build even a single gram of new muscle tissue. And almost everyone is missing it for the same reason. They are eating chicken. Not because chicken is bad. Chicken is a fine source of protein. But chicken, eaten as the primary muscle-building food day after day, is like filling a car with fuel and forgetting that the ignition needs a key. The fuel is there, the engine is capable, but without the specific signal that turns the whole system on, nothing moves. Stay with me, because what I am about to explain will change how you think about food and muscle for the rest of your life. Inside every muscle fiber in your body lives a molecular switch. Scientists call it mTOR, the mechanistic target of rapamycin. Think of mTOR as a master construction supervisor sitting inside each of your muscle cells. When this supervisor is active, the entire building site comes alive. Protein synthesis begins, muscle fibers repair, new tissue grows. Your body responds to the work you put into it. When this supervisor is inactive, none of that happens. It does not matter how much protein you eat. It does not matter how hard you trained. Without mTOR activation, the construction crew sits idle. The materials pile up unused. The building site stays exactly as it was. And here is what most people in fitness have never been told clearly. mTOR does not activate just because you ate protein. It activates for specific molecular triggers. Specific compounds found in specific foods that your biology has been recognizing as muscle-building signals for millions of years. Miss those triggers and your body will process the protein you eat without using it to build meaningful new muscle tissue. This is what researchers at McMaster University called the anabolic blind spot, the gap between eating enough protein and eating the right protein-containing compounds to actually signal your muscle-building machinery to run. Every single day, your body destroys approximately 250 to 300 grams of muscle protein through normal metabolic turnover. This is not disease, this is biology. The question is whether your body has the signals to rebuild what it breaks down, and then build more on top of that. Without the right triggers, the balance tips toward breakdown. You lose slightly more than you rebuild, day after day, and the change is invisible until suddenly it is not. With the right triggers, the balance tips toward growth. The construction supervisor wakes up. The building site runs, and the muscle you are training for actually appears. The 3 foods I am about to explain are not superfoods in the marketing sense. They are not expensive or exotic. They are biologically loaded with the exact compounds your mTOR pathway requires. Compounds that chicken, ironically, does not deliver in the quantities your muscle-building machinery needs. Let me show you exactly what those compounds are, why they matter, and how each food delivers something the others cannot. The first food is one you already know, but you almost certainly do not know why it works. Whole eggs, not egg whites, not a processed egg product. Whole eggs, with the yolk intact, eaten at a specific quantity. Here is the mechanism. Inside the mTOR activation pathway, there is a specific amino acid that functions as the primary ignition key. Without enough of it in a single meal, mTOR does not fully activate regardless of how much total protein that meal contains. With enough of it, the entire synthesis pathway engages at maximum capacity. That amino acid is leucine. A landmark study published in Cell Metabolism established the threshold that matters. You need at least 2.7 grams of leucine in a single meal to trigger maximum muscle protein synthesis. Below that threshold, your body processes the protein without fully activating the growth machinery. It is the difference between turning on a light and flipping the breaker that powers the entire electrical system. 3 whole eggs deliver you to that threshold. 2 do not. But here is the part the fitness industry suppressed for 3 decades, while people were throwing away yolks and eating egg white omelets. The yolk is not optional. It is the point. Research from the University of Illinois showed that whole eggs triggered nearly double the muscle protein synthesis response of egg whites alone, with the same amount of protein. Why? Because the yolk contains phosphatidic acid, which directly activates mTOR. It contains cholesterol precursors that your Leydig cells convert into testosterone. It contains vitamin D, which controls muscle fiber recruitment through your nervous system. Egg whites are protein. Whole eggs are a complete anabolic signal. A 2023 review found that men eating 3 or more whole eggs daily had significantly higher free testosterone levels than egg white eaters training identically and sleeping identically. The difference was not the workout, it was the yolk. 3 whole eggs every morning. Scrambled, boiled, poached. The preparation method does not change the biology. Have you been eating egg whites thinking you were being healthier? Tell me in the comments. You are not alone, and the science has been quietly correcting this for years. If you enjoy understanding the real biology behind what you eat and how your body responds, subscribe. If this is already changing how you think, tap the like button. The second food is where the majority of people who are serious about building muscle make their most expensive mistake. They replace every protein source with chicken breast and call it discipline. Chicken breast is lean, cheap, and consistent. It is also missing 2 of the most important muscle-building compounds your biology requires, and no amount of additional chicken compensates for their absence. The first missing compound is omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA, the long-chain omega-3s found in abundance in wild-caught fatty fish. Here is why this matters, in a way that goes far beyond the standard heart health messaging. A 2021 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that omega-3 fatty acids make your muscle cells 30% more sensitive to protein, not 3%. 30. What this means in practical terms is that the same amount of protein you are already eating builds significantly more muscle when omega-3 levels are adequate than when they are not. The protein you are eating right now is underperforming relative to its potential because the cellular doors that allow amino acids to enter and be used for construction are not fully open. Omega-3s open those doors. Think of your muscle cell membranes as the walls of a building with a set of locks. Amino acids from the protein you eat are standing outside those walls carrying building materials. If the locks are rigid and unresponsive, the materials pile up outside and eventually get cleared away unused. Omega-3 fatty acids are the compound that keeps those cellular membranes fluid, flexible, and responsive. So when protein arrives, it gets inside and gets used. Chicken breast contains essentially no EPA or DHA. A daily diet built primarily around chicken breast is a daily diet with chronically low omega-3 levels and chronically reduced protein sensitivity, regardless of how much total protein it contains. Wild-caught salmon is the solution. 1 serving delivers 2 to 3 grams of EPA and DHA combined, enough to maintain the cellular membrane fluidity your muscle cells need to respond optimally to the protein you are eating. But salmon does something else that matters just as much. Chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the most underappreciated barriers to muscle growth. Every intense training session floods your body with inflammatory cytokines. In the short term, this is normal and necessary. Inflammation is part of the repair signal. But when inflammation remains chronically elevated, as it does in sedentary individuals, in people with high stress, and in people eating pro-inflammatory diets built around processed food, it actively blocks the muscle repair and growth process. Omega-3 fatty acids are among the most effective natural anti-inflammatory compounds identified in nutritional science. A 2022 trial published in the Journal of Physiology found that individuals supplementing EPA and DHA lost 6 times less muscle during recovery weeks than the control group, not slightly less. 6 times less. The omega-3s were not just building faster, they were dramatically reducing the breakdown that was erasing the gains. You are not just trying to add to the building, you are trying to stop the leak in the bucket. Omega-3s do both simultaneously. The second compound chicken lacks that wild-caught salmon provides abundantly is vitamin D. A 2023 paper published in Nature Metabolism linked low vitamin D levels to a 40% reduction in muscle fiber recruitment during exercise. This means that if your vitamin D is low, which it is in the majority of adults eating indoor-heavy modern lives, roughly 40% of the muscle fibers that should be firing during your training session are not being recruited. You are doing the sets. You are doing the reps. Nearly half your available muscle is sitting out because your nervous system does not have the hormonal signal it needs to recruit it. Wild-caught salmon is one of the most vitamin D-dense foods available. 4 to 6 ounces 3 to 4 times weekly makes a measurable difference in both vitamin D status and omega-3 levels within weeks. If cost is a barrier, sardines and mackerel deliver the same omega-3 and vitamin D profile at a fraction of the price. The biology does not care about the species, it cares about the compounds. The third food is the most underestimated muscle-building tool in nutrition science, and it has nothing to do with protein grams or amino acid profiles in the way you would expect. It works through a system most people have never connected to muscle growth at all: full-fat Greek yogurt with berries. And the mechanism that makes this combination extraordinary begins not in your muscles but in your gut. Inside your intestines lives a community of approximately 38 trillion bacteria. These bacteria are not passengers. They are active participants in your physiology, producing compounds, regulating hormones, influencing inflammation, and communicating with organs throughout your body through chemical signals that travel in your bloodstream. Recent research from Stanford has confirmed something that changes how we understand muscle building entirely. Certain gut bacteria produce short-chain fatty acids as a byproduct of digesting fiber. These short-chain fatty acids travel through the bloodstream and activate a specific population of cells in your muscle tissue: satellite cells. Satellite cells are the muscle stem cells. They are dormant most of the time, sitting quietly alongside your muscle fibers, not participating in normal metabolism. But when they are activated, by training damage, by sufficient short-chain fatty acid signaling, by the right combination of nutritional inputs, they wake up, multiply, and fuse with existing muscle fibers, making them larger, thicker, and stronger. No satellite cell activation means no real hypertrophy. You are patching damage, not building new capacity. The satellite cell response is what separates adaptation from maintenance. And a 2024 paper published in Nature Communications demonstrated that disrupted gut bacteria reduced muscle protein synthesis by up to 35%. Even in subjects with completely adequate protein intake, the gut-muscle axis is real, measurable, and consequential. Your microbiome is not just a digestive consideration, it is a muscle-building variable. Greek yogurt delivers three things simultaneously. First, 20 to 25 grams of casein protein, the slow-digesting form that releases amino acids gradually over 5 to 7 hours, providing your muscle fibers with a sustained supply of building material through the night when most muscle repair occurs. Second, live probiotic cultures that directly feed and support the gut bacteria responsible for short-chain fatty acid production. Third, calcium, which is required for the mechanical function of muscle contraction and plays a role in the signaling cascades that follow training. Add berries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, and you add one of the most concentrated sources of polyphenols in the food supply. Polyphenols are compounds that directly suppress the inflammatory cytokines that block muscle repair after training. A 2023 trial, published in Frontiers in Nutrition, found that subjects eating berries daily recovered 42% faster between training sessions than the control group. Faster recovery means more effective training, means more consistent growth. One bowl of full-fat Greek yogurt with a handful of berries before sleep. While you sleep, casein drip feeds your muscles for hours. The probiotic cultures support short-chain fatty acid production. The polyphenols suppress the post-training inflammation that would otherwise blunt the repair response. Now let me show you why these three foods work exponentially better together than any one of them alone. They activate three completely separate biological pathways, and those pathways compound on each other. Eggs activate mTOR directly through leucine and phosphatidic acid. They provide the hormonal raw material through yolk cholesterol and vitamin D. They start the ignition. Salmon increases the sensitivity of every muscle cell to the protein signal. It opens the cellular doors that amino acids enter through. It suppresses the inflammation that blocks repair. It ensures your nervous system can recruit the muscle you are trying to build. Greek yogurt with berries sustains the protein supply through the night, activates satellite cell signaling through the gut-muscle axis, and accelerates recovery, so the next training session compounds, rather than repeats. A 2024 meta-analysis in Sports Medicine tracked individuals who consistently activated all three of these biological pathways daily versus those relying on protein quantity alone. The group hitting all three triggers gained 2.3 times more lean mass over 12 weeks. Same caloric intake, same training program. The difference was purely the biological signal quality, not the volume. This is not supplementation. This is not pharmacology. This is the food environment your muscle-building biology was designed to operate in, being provided consistently. The practical protocol is straightforward. 3 whole eggs every morning, scrambled, boiled, or poached, always with the yolk. Wild-caught salmon 3 to 4 times weekly, 4 to 6 ounces per serving. Sardines or mackerel if cost is a factor. Full-fat Greek yogurt with a handful of mixed berries every night before sleep. These are not complicated changes. They do not require a new diet or a new lifestyle. They require replacing a few meals you are already eating with meals that contain the biological signals your muscle-building machinery has been waiting for. The reason your gains have stalled is not your effort. It is your signal. Your body is receiving the fuel but not the instructions. These 3 foods are the instructions. What surprised you most in this video? Which of these 3 foods are you missing from your current diet? Tell me in the comments. If you enjoy discovering the real science behind how your body works, subscribe for more. New videos every week. In the next video, we will explore something even more fascinating. What happens inside your muscle fibers during the 48 hours after training, minute by minute, and why most people are unknowingly interrupting the repair process at the most critical moment. Your body is not failing you. It has been waiting for the right information. Now you have it.